Let's talk about the ramifications of the Biden administration's policies in one of the most ridiculous ways we can. Oh, yes. From the St. Louis Fed on Twitter, they say from the Fred blog, a Thanksgiving dinner serving of poultry costs $1.42. A soybean-based dinner serving with the same amount of calories costs 66 cents and provides almost twice as much protein. Now, they're not saying outright, don't buy turkey, but we get what they're saying. Now, hold on. It would not be an establishment if the media did not jump in and join in as well. So Google search, don't buy turkeys. And what do you see? Well, here's from Mahoning Matters. There's no turkey shortage, but don't wait to buy. From the Des Moines Register, why is there a turkey shortage? Then from Consumer Reports, there is no turkey shortage, followed by PETA, who tells you not to eat turkey. So the prices are going up.
Yeah.
We went to, we got a fresh turkey. We went to a farm and we pre-ordered. Like, they actually raised a turkey from June and got all big, and then this past Sunday. And they told us, you can't get them in most places. If you want a turkey, good luck. And now that's why the media is telling people, hey, don't get mad you're not having turkey for Thanksgiving. You don't want turkey anyway, right? Hey, this soy stuff is cheaper and better for you. How about that? Now and people say to me, that's not Joe Biden's fault this is happening. And I've said over and over again, I've done long segments talking about why it is Joe Biden's fault, one of which is the inflation, gas prices, speculation. I can get into it. But let me ask you, because you're the economics guy. What is it with the Biden administration that's resulting in inflation, high gas prices, food shortages? What is it?
Let me take you back to 2016 in the Trump campaign. And we had a mantra there, the way we were going to grow the economy. And it was simple. It was tax cuts, not to benefit the corporations, but simply to encourage them to bring jobs onshore. It was deregulation to lower the costs and make us more globally competitive. It was energy independence and cheap energy, which again makes us more competitive, puts more money in consumers' pockets to help them be able to buy more and increase their wages. And most of all, it was fair trade. It was stopping the attacks, not just by China on us, but India, Europe, and everywhere else where we had the lowest tariffs in the world and everybody was taking advantage of us. Now, all of those, Tim, are what we call structural changes in the economy designed to increase growth and do it in a way where the productivity would increase and therefore real wages would rise and inflation would be held down. That's the structural macroeconomic approach to prosperity. Now, if you think about what went before that and what has come after that, that answers your question. Before that, what the Biden-Obama administration did for 8 years was double the national debt from $10 to $20 trillion. Think about that. It went from $10 trillion to $20 trillion. That was pure, what we call in economics, pure Keynesian stimulus designed to stimulate the economy, but it didn't work because they didn't address the underlying structural changes. All we got was this, I don't know if you remember the phrase, the new normal. This was like slow growth and stagnant wages. Okay, so we come to Trump, things boom, and then Biden takes over. What has he done? He's reversed all 4 points of the Trump economic growth compass, right? He wants to raise taxes, right? He's slamming on more regulations. He's made just the worst mockery and ruin of our energy policy, and now we're begging the Saudis to pump oil. I'll try a little. Comedy's always hard, but here's a little comedy for you. At the football game tailgates now before the games, they're eating caviar because it's cheaper than cooking hot dogs with propane, right?
There's wing shortages.
Yes, and there's wing shortages. And then the other thing is, like, my job at the White House, as I talk about in the Trump Time book, was supply chains, right? If you have your manufacturing here and your supply chains will stay here. Those are resilient. If you send your factories offshore, here's the thing. Supply chains follow them, right? And therefore you have fragile supply chains at best, broken ones at worst. And so what's happening with the Biden economy right now is there's not enough attention being paid to making it here. I actually wrote the order for the Keystone Pipeline when we first got in. It was the coolest thing. It happened early, but it was cool. I literally did this in 20 minutes. It was probably the fastest executive order ever written, right? But Biden undid that quicker. Right, the stroke of the pen, and so go ahead.
The Keystone Pipeline, I think, is the easiest way to explain to people the rise in prices.
Yeah.
So the first thing you'll get from like USA Today is they'll say Biden's policies are not causing gas and prices to increase and not causing inflation. And then when it comes to the Keystone Pipeline, they'll say the pipeline wasn't set to deliver oil for some time anyway, so shutting it down had no impact on the amount of energy we had. But what it did is that it signaled to many investors and many companies the supply chain for oil is not going to meet the requirements in the coming years, which means buy now because those prices are going up. Speculators then start buying up in fear that we won't have enough in the future, so the prices instantly start spiking. When gas prices start spiking, the cost of everything goes up right afterwards. You got to drive to work. Well, I need more money for work, boss, because the gas is too expensive. You want to get corn shipped to the plant to make whatever you got to make in food. The truck's got to spend more for gas. You got to spend more on corn.
And guess what? The frackers, we are like the Saudi Arabia of frackers, Pennsylvania, whatever.
North Dakota.
The frackers, when these prices go up now, are not going to up production to have that adjustment because they don't believe they'll be allowed to frack under the Biden regime, to your point about signaling. And that's a shrewd thing, Tim, because that's like one of the core principles in economics about signaling theory. Somebody actually won the Nobel Prize back in talking about it, and that's the problem we have. And it's just absurd. This is nuts. I mean, we're sitting on literally with a Saudi Arabia of natural gas, and natural gas prices are through the friggin' roof. That makes no sense. And watching Joe Biden beg, not just to the Saudis, but to the Russians. OPEC is basically, okay, here's a quiz. Let's see if you guys who gets this right. So it's probably so Biden just released oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. How many days or months of oil? Lydia.
I know this one.
This
one because we use 18.9 billion barrels of gallon per day, right? So it's going to last us like 2.5 days.
Yeah. Boom. Very, very to your point, signaling theory. Yeah, that's really going to drive things down. And you know what Saudi did as soon as we did that?
What?
They offset it.
Oh, of course.
They cut back production.
Actually.
Wow. So they're strangling us out on purpose.
Oh, well, the Saudis, one of the things I regret during the Trump administration, and this isn't in the Trump time book, was how the Saudis screwed our frackers when they started flooding the market with oil.
Yeah.
See, the fracking thing. There's a threshold, right, which is much relatively higher than pumping from fields, right? The traditional way. So if you want to kill the frackers, all you do is have to keep the price of oil $5 below that threshold. So, and the Saudis did that. They've done that like 2 or 3 times.
So real quick, for people who don't know, there's something called energy returned on energy invested. And fracking for a long time didn't make sense because the cost to actually frack wasn't worth what you'd get out of it. But when energy prices reached a certain threshold, all of a sudden the cost stays the same, but the energy is now more valuable. They start fracking. Yeah. All of a sudden we find ourselves, as you mentioned, the Saudi Arabia of fracking. A lot of left-wing activists really don't like it. They really don't like it. But it ultimately helps us become energy independent.
Yeah, and a lot of these arguments are being made. We need to stop domestic oil production to help the environment, when in reality, we're literally shipping it from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Saudi Arabia is doing what's right for Saudi Arabia, as of course anyone would. That's why they're cutting down production.
I thought according to Jen Psaki, Saudi Arabia had their own like cone where all the carbon stays over there, right?
Yes, of course. That's exactly how it works.
Okay.
It's not all right, we
gotta have a hit of Psaki.
But we gotta understand.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. all of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about. So you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.